it's terrible, terrible timing to do a live stream right now. Jerome Powell about to go live, I think in like 15 minutes or so. I just have multiple calls coming up. And I wanted to, it's going to be a short live stream. And if you're a replay viewer, please hit the timestamps. I just wanted to put my thoughts out there at the beginning of the day. And I'll do another video later on this afternoon as we see how markets react. I have no idea how markets are going to react to Jerome Powell, what he says. But either way, right now, this is the volatility S&P 500 index that you see on the chart, absolutely going insane on the weekly. I wanted to do the video because we just discussed this chart. Last time, 2 terms ago, when Trump was in his first term, we had all this tariff fear. We were discussing how we were approaching these levels in terms of the bottom of the S&P 500. I'm not sitting here calling the bottom for the S&P 500 in markets right now, but I am saying this was what the bottom looked like on this fear index. Right now, we just wicked up far above that area on the fear and greed index. And here's the deal. We're approaching levels of COVID. So I'm bringing that up right now for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is a massive indicator. But number two, look at the S&P 500. So here's S&P 500 zoomed out on the weekly. Just look at this red candle currently on the weekly. Look at this. If we take a glance on the daily, look at the daily chart, everybody. It is December 2018 charts is what it is. And what I mean by that is here is the tariff fear. This is exactly what we've been discussing. Here is all that tariff fear. Right before this green line, quantitative tightening, Fed was starting to reassure people that quantitative tightening will be coming to an end. We are in such a similar environment. I don't mean to sit here and say the bottom is absolutely in, but we have to pay attention to all of these indicators. And right now, just look at this. QT coming to an end soon, or at least slowing down soon. What is Jerome Powell going to say minutes away? You're going to watch probably that as you're watching my video. I have no idea. He might say something bearish. Markets might crash more. So this is one thing to watch today. But what's the second reason I'm bringing this up is because as we have this fear going crazy, COVID levels, we're reaching COVID level fear. It is absolutely insane to watch what Bitcoin is doing. This is Bitcoin on the daily chart. It's just, and I don't know if this is going to hold, if it's just a lagging effect and crypto is going to finally follow S&P 500 traditional markets. But right now, Bitcoin holding very well. And if you even look at this is total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin, holding very well. You go to an ADA chart on the weekly. It's a green weekly candle so far. I'm not saying it's going to end green. I don't know, again, what is going to happen. But while S&P 500 is crashing, it is so interesting to me. And I really can't believe what crypto is doing right now in this environment, because crypto is crashing with S&P 500 back in 2018. If you remember the bear market capitulation, crypto was just crashing with S&P 500 during this very similar time. So I really wanted to get this video out there to kind of look at charts and kind of look at what is going on. And there's just a couple things that I want to discuss in relation to this insane volatility that's in markets. I can't believe we're 9 minutes away from Jerome Powell speaking. I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, the sponsor of this tax season, Coinledger. Go download, not download, but go sign up with Coinledger. I'll put a link below once I'm uploaded this stream. But go use Coinledger, everybody. Taxes are days away now. If you haven't done them, this will help you not only do them right, but save money potentially as well. And you can go to their website, trusted by over 500,000 crypto investors. I know so many of you, even in the live stream replay viewers, are already using Coinledger. They are the OG tax software to use. And it really is. Save money on your tax bill with crypto losses. As we've been down, look into tax loss harvesting. Talk to your CPA, whoever's helping you with taxes. Look into what that is. Crypto is down a lot. A lot of people are down on their holdings. This could be utilized. So use Coinledger in terms of utilizing it. Get it done. Import your wallets, your accounts, and just do your taxes correctly. So here's the deal. I just saw this because Jerome Powell, minutes away from speaking, I just saw this post. Jerome Powell scheduled to speak today, 11:30 a.m. Normally, I would be waiting to do a video, but I have meetings coming up throughout this afternoon, and I wanted to get this video out there because there's so much happening very fast. Trump says cut interest rates, Jerome Powell, and stop playing politics. So Trump says he's always late, which we know, right? Put politics aside. We see Jerome Powell. He's seemingly always late. He takes his time in these things, but he could now change his image and quickly. Energy prices are down, interest rates are down, inflation is down, even eggs are down 69%, jobs are up, all within 2 months. A big win for America. Cut interest rates, Jerome, and stop playing politics. But here's the deal. Many people calling for Jerome Powell to finally start cutting interest rates. Somebody asked if I am streaming the FOMC. I really would like to, but I can't. I have calls coming up, which is why I'm doing this quick live stream, because there's just some things I have to put out there as we go into today. So this is what it's looking like. $9.6 trillion in value lost since Trump has been inaugurated. I did a post. I'm not going to read the whole thing. This is very recent. Trump I don't know if you knew, he just secured $6 trillion in commitments to America. This tariff strategy, many people don't realize even yet, it is beginning to work. I said I'm not a tariff expert. I've been reading a lot about what's going on right now, but here's what's happening. The Treasury, the U.S. Treasury 10-year just dropped below 4%. And if you remember, we've been looking at like the dollar chart. I've been discussing, are we going to, at the beginning of Trump's term, are we going to get a similar dollar chart and a fall in the dollar that we had in Trump's last term? That's the question we've been evaluating. Trump saying interest rates are too high. Last term, he's saying the dollar's too strong. Are we going to get a similar move? How is that going to happen? Well, we're getting the similar move. You can see it on the dollar chart. And how did he do it? Tariffs. Trump's tariffs have triggered a flight to safety, which are bonds. Because we have this demand for bonds, the bond prices are surging and the yields, because of the demand, are falling. So ironically, people are running to bonds kind of for the security, this flight to safety. But ironically, when the yield falls because of that demand, well, then risk-on assets become attractive. And we kind of have this very nice storm brewing where if you go to S&P 500, just chart as a visualization tool, we have this storm brewing where now we have interest rates potentially, let's see what Jerome Powell says, getting ready to come lower, quantitative tightening slowing down. We have a very nice storm brewing, very similar to what happened back here at that bottom. So I cannot help but watch this volatility. This is the S&P 500 volatility index. I can't help but watch what goes on here because, and I'm not saying it's going to be such a quick flip like we had back in 2018 at that bottom of the bear market, but I am saying we've surpassed that area from a fear level. I think much of the fear is irrational. It's just my opinion. And I think the markets can flip very quickly, especially if things like the S&P 500 continue oversold. Look at the S&P 500 on the weekly, everybody. Comparative to that bear market bottom, look at the RSI. We are getting very close to that oversold area. Or actually, I'm sorry. We've surpassed the oversold area of the RSI from that cycle, the bottom of the bear market. We've surpassed it in terms of how oversold S&P 500 is right now. There's high fear. People are calling for it to go lower. That is fine, and it might. But now is the time to pay attention in these markets. If you've been watching markets for any amount of time, you just know that's the case. Even if you're a bear out there, that's fine. Be a bear. But when we get into oversold, you better at least have your eyes open for a potential bounce. The bounce could be a week away, 2 weeks away. I'm not calling for like this immediate bounce today or anything like that. But there's still a lot that needs to play out. But the daily chart as well gives a very similar sense in terms of if you just look at it, we are headed towards, we're right around 26 on that RSI. And if we go back and we look at the 2018 bottom, you can just see it was right around 18. So we're approaching it on the daily, just crazy I think I said overbought, oversold on the daily. And then really, Jerome Powell speaking literally in a few minutes. Here's what I'll be watching today. What does Bitcoin do? It's at resistance. You can see this 20-day moving average resistance. We've already had the 200-day moving average, the 50-day moving average wick of resistance. These are the areas to start kind of seeing if Bitcoin can flip, can reverse into a bull momentum area. Those are the areas it needs to break. Not only break, we need to see higher highs and higher lows above these moving averages. So far, it's been resistance. Jerome Powell, people might not like what he says. Bitcoin and crypto might have a lagging effect, finally going to fall, just like the S&P 500. We might go lower. Be very prepared for that, because right now, this could be an absolute fake out for bulls. People getting excited. Man, crypto holding up. We're not correlated to traditional markets. It's bullish, and it could be. But I would not become too overly confident about that, because right now, we're at all of these resistance areas for Bitcoin, regardless of what's going on. What we want to see is a move of Bitcoin above those areas. But I just can't stress enough. Just to see, here's altcoins. This is excluding Bitcoin market cap. Just to see how it's holding so far is crazy to me. Just because if you've been here for years, if you've been watching the correlation between traditional markets, especially in crashes and stuff, and crypto, they've been pretty well correlated. So let's see what happens. I'm going to continue tracking this, everybody. I'm going to continue kind of doing videos and tracking how the markets react, especially today. Jerome Powell. Again, I have a few calls coming up. It's just why I couldn't wait. Usually I'll wait for Jerome Powell to speak and then I'll cover charts, but I'll do a video later, maybe like 3, 4, 5 p.m. and we'll track how this is progressing. Because it's pretty crazy to me to watch this. Even ADA on the weekly, look at this, approaching 67 cents. Is it a fake out? This is a daily chart, I'm sorry. Is it a fake out? Be careful. Don't get overly bullish because it's holding, these altcoins and Bitcoin is holding green while S&P is crashing. Don't get overly bullish. Put that aside. Even the correlation or the lack thereof, put that aside as data. Look at just the charts and focus on, no matter what's going on here, focus on the data, the true resistance on this chart, these moving averages. It really allows to put aside emotion. So for ADA, it's like 70 cents at the 20-day, 73 cents at the 200, 74 cents at the 50-day moving average. And right here is such a key area, everybody. It's kind of that bull market door area for ADA. Has been so much resistance. If ADA can make a move, if crypto can make a move back up, then we can start talking at the very least about some type of reversal. And then the same is true on most of these charts. There's the daily on the altcoin charts in general, the daily 20-day moving average around $1 trillion. We need to start flipping above those areas. We're not there yet. We might have a similar kind of grueling bottoming out like we had back here. It's all we've been talking about. This might extend for weeks, maybe even a month, couple months. I don't know, but just be prepared for continued volatility. But I will say, I am quite optimistic about crypto. I've already been bullish. You all know that. Even in this high fear environment, I'm even more optimistic and bullish just to see how crypto is actually holding up while S&P 500 is actually falling quite aggressively, while this volatility S&P 500 index is really approaching COVID levels. And this is a weekly, but here's COVID, the last few weeks of the COVID crash. We're like approaching that last few weeks, that capitulation area. So let's see what happens. Jerome Powell, go enjoy. I can't cover it here. I appreciate you cruising through. Go find a channel or something that's watching it. And please subscribe, turn notifications on, smash that like button. Let's see what happens with all these charts. A lot of data to take in. But things are really playing out in terms of what we've been tracking for Trump's second term. That is to say, what the dollar is doing, what is happening with potential interest rates starting to come down. Jerome Powell, go check him out, and we'll track it later as I do a video. So have a good day. I will see you in the next video. God bless.